All right, so we're going to work through example number 14 here. So you can see we have a large tank. It's open to the outside and filled to a depth of 15 meters. We see that over in the picture here. It's got a spout that is 10 meters above the bottom of the tank. And the question is, with what speed will the water emerge from the spout? And then what horizontal distance from the base of the large tank does it land away? So we're going to go ahead and start with first question first, with what speed will water emerge? Now, you should probably have a pretty good idea that since we've got some pressure, we've got some velocity, we've got some depth, that this is probably going to be Bernoulli's principle. So we're going to go P1 plus rho gy1 plus 1/2 rho v squared 1 has to be equal to P2 plus rho gy2 plus 1/2 rho v2 squared. Now, as I mentioned in class, one of the most important things is picking the right points for your initial and final conditions. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one point that's right on the surface of the water here. So that's going to be number 1. Okay, number 2 is going to be this point right here as it leaves the tank. Now, obviously you could choose a point inside of the tank or something like that, but let me show you why these 2 points are probably the best. At point 1, I can see that the only pressure would be the atmospheric pressure, right? The PATM. So that would be pressure 1. All right? The rho gy, if I make this the height of 2, if I make that my 0, then the height of 1 would be the difference between that 15 and that 10. So therefore, my y here would be 5 meters. All right? And then the velocity, this is an assumption that we make quite often. Even in a tank where the top of the tank may be decreasing, you can tell that this is much, much, much smaller than the surface of the tank. And so very often we'll just assume that the surface of the tank is essentially 0 velocity, right? Now, if it was dropping really rapidly, we wouldn't be able to do that. But for a very large tank and a small spout, that's not a bad assumption. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put P atmosphere for the pressure at point 1. Then I'm going to go rho, which is for water, so that's 1,000, times G, which is 9.8, and then times Y, which is the height. We just said that would be 5 meters. And then I would go plus 1/2 times the density of the water again, so that's 1,000, times V, which we said at point 1, the velocity is essentially 0. Okay, now it's not a perfect assumption, but it's pretty good for this situation with a large tank. Now we're then going to go equal to the pressure at 2. So 2 is going to be right outside of the tube. Now, if it's right outside, that means we're back to atmospheric pressure. All right? And so again, P2 is going to be atmospheric pressure right there. Then we'll go plus rho, which is still the 1,000, times G, which is 9.8, times Y, but this, remember, was my 0, and so I'm going to put 0 in for my Y. And then I just go plus 1/2 times rho times V squared. And now I can solve for V, no problem, right? And so I can go ahead and cancel out. I'm going to subtract the PATM, the atmospheric pressure, so that's going to cancel out. This here is 0, so that's going to go away. This here is 0. So what I end up with is quite simply 1,000 times 9.8 times 5, and that has to be equal to 1/2 times 1,000 times V2 squared. Now, of course, I divide by 1,000 on both sides. That cancels out. Then I can multiply by the 1/2 here. That would give me 9.8 times 10. So that's going to give me 98 equals V2 squared. Of course, at this point, you could actually just plug it into your calculator if you want, do the numerical solve. But if I do that and I take the square root of 98, then I get 9.899. So approximately 9.9 meters per second. All right, so that's not too bad, right? Again, all it takes is choosing the right conditions. Now, you could very easily choose different conditions and it would work, right? But those are probably the easiest because then the pressures cancel out, all right? We were also able to make the velocity 0 at the beginning and the height 0 at the end. So there were a lot of simplifications by choosing those as my initial and final points. Okay, now of course for part B, so that was part A, so that was not too bad. Part B, we now need to go through and calculate the horizontal distance from the spout. Now, you can probably tell that this is going to be kinematics here, and so we're going to do x naught, x, v naught, v, a, and t. We're going to do that both for the horizontal and for the vertical because it is two-dimensional. So x and y. So I know I'm looking for the horizontal distance. So I'll start at 0. That's what I want right there, that horizontal distance. The initial velocity is going to be that 9.9. The final velocity, well, horizontally there's no acceleration, so the final velocity should also be 9.9 meters per second. And then the time, I don't know what the time is. If you look at your kinematics, unfortunately, with acceleration being 0, you're not going to be able to solve for x. We do need to find the time. So, of course, then we're going to do the time by doing the y. So with y, I'm going to go ahead and start at 0. Then it's going to go down to 10, so I'll put in negative 10 because I started at 0 and I went down 10, so that'll be negative 10. My initial vertical velocity is 0 because it comes out horizontally at 0.2 there, right? It's coming out horizontally, so that's 0. The final vertical velocity doesn't really matter. The acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second squared, right? This was meters per second. And so therefore I should be able to solve for the time. So I just want an equation that doesn't have v in it. And so I'm going to go ahead and do x equals x naught plus v naught t plus 1/2 a t squared. So the x naught was 0, so that goes away. The v naught was 0, so that goes away. So I'm left with x equals 1/2 a t squared. I am doing the vertical information here because I want to solve for t. And so I can put in the negative 10 equals 1/2 times negative 9.8 times t squared. And now I can solve for t squared. And I get that t is equal to 1.43 seconds. All right, now that I have that, I can put that into my horizontal information. And so then I go horizontal. And for the horizontal, I'm going to use the same equation, x equals x naught plus v naught t plus 1/2 a t squared. Of course, the 1/2 a t squared is 0. The initial position is 0. This greatly simplifies things so that x equals v naught, which was 9.9, times the time, which is 1.43. And when I multiply all that together, I do get 14.1 meters. I do notice that this is only 2 significant figures. This one's 3. That's only 2. My 9.8 was only 2 sig figs. So I suppose the best answer here would be x equals 14 meters. And that's the answer to letter B. That is the horizontal distance that it will land away from the spout. All right? So assuming that the spout there is really short, I guess it would be 14 plus whatever the length of the spout is, but that wasn't given, so we'll go with 14. All right, so there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. It's a nice question. Got a little bit of Bernoulli's in there, a little bit of fluids, and also a little bit of kinematics. All right, see you next time.